Good evening. It's Sunday night.
Special Sunday time stream.
Yeah, right. I never get to say it's Sunday night. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the start of my career as an NFL broadcaster.
Oh, is that what Man,
Probably not.
yeah,
but,
I'm skeptical of.
well, thanks for believing in me, jerk.
I'm mad that you didn't text me today and tell me that I was supposed to start CEH because I wasn't convinced he was going to get any snaps. The Chiefs are your team. I wasn't convinced he was going to get any snaps after being activated this week.
Oh man,
And
yeah. I didn't know you had. I forgot you had CH on your team.
well, I had Williams in because he's been running good while
Oh
CH
yeah,
has been out.
yeah. And Williams got some carries, just not very many.
And his like 4 carries or whatever is very effective, but
Right.
I'm mad.
I really can't complain. I have Jonathan Taylor.
So it's you.
Yeah. I have Jonathan Taylor. So like you pretty much are guaranteed to win when you have one player that scores nearly 52 points in fantasy in one
day. Yeah. That's a lot.
It makes up for the Bills giving me negative 4 points today on defense. They just like totally imploded today. And then I had what's his name? Brandon Myers from Jacksonville. Is that right?
Ew.
Yeah, and he scored 0 today.
Yeah,
good job, dude.
Bad.
I don't have a great wide receiver core at all. Like, kind of the pits when you're in the middle of draft, like when you're like the 8th pick, you have an opportunity to pull some good running backs in round 1 and round 2, but the wide receivers tend to get bought up in there.
This was a weird year.
Yeah. So
the team is a mess, but
I was meant to go look because I waived Corey Sutton off my roster last week because I'm just tired of watching him score 3 points a week. So, like, I don't know what's going on in Denver, man.
They're bad still. Like
I know, but I don't understand why. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater is a fine quarterback. So
yeah, but I mean, they've been bad for several years.
And like 2.
They just don't have a ton of talent.
Wasn't it just 3 years ago? They were. I mean, maybe it's 4 years ago now. I don't know. Anyways, welcome to an Ashes Reborn special live stream.
It's Sunday night. We talk about it a little bit.
But, right. Yeah, it's Sunday night. It's Sunday night. So
I got the game on the side.
Obviously, we are coming to you to bring you a top 4 matchup between Bill and Phil tonight.
Right. Unfortunately, we missed out on the.
Yeah, I missed out on JK and Kaya's, and I apologize for that. I just got sidetracked with some things, and it's totally on me, and missed the ping that they were getting ready to start, and by the time I saw it, it was way too late. So, this is all we're going to get for top 4 this season, unfortunately, and that's my bad.
But congratulations to Kyla.
Yeah,
for making the finals. Yet another Maoni finals appearance.
Yeah, and keeping with the trend of odd seasons, Maoni making it to the finals.
And the thing in the Discord has been about like, see if the Heralds come back with Maoni winning again, and that's Herald is the perfect example of what we were talking about on the last stream about how Maoni is always going to be good, and she's going to be really good in the seasons where she doesn't run into any speed bumps for herself, and not as good in the seasons where there's lots of speed bumps for her. Harold being one of the very biggest ones, obviously, because you just can't save the snake from Hunter's mark.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's wild. I obviously I have been pretty public that I didn't feel that Maoni was an S tier deck. I thought it was a very good deck, like a tier 1.5 deck that in past had benefited from dodging. Just because of a lack of density, dodging bad matchups, and then, the pilot being who he was, and Carl, and obviously Carl is a 2-time Shufflebus champion, both time with Maoni, but Carl is easily one of the best Ashes players in the world. That I just wondered how many people could take it to this point.
I think it's to take nothing away from Carl because he is great. I think that the deck is a little higher on the skill cap tree, but mostly it's just like meta based, where Mayoni is very powerful, Snake is very powerful. But it's essentially like a combo deck, right? Like it kills you all at once or in 2 swings, and if there's not a lot of decks that have interaction for it, then it's going to do very well. If there are a lot of decks in the field that have an interaction for it, it's not. And like I said, not to take anything away from Carl or from Kyla, it was obviously a great meta choice going into this season. And having beaten the JK version, these 2 decks that we're going to see tonight are different, but not different by a lot when it comes to what matters against Mayoni.
Yeah, I was thinking about this the outcome of this match and what it means for the finals. And obviously, I don't want to jump to the finals yet. We'll have some time to talk about the finals on Tuesday before the finals go live. But I do think, to your point, that both Bill and Philly's deck are so eerily similar. Although Bill has explicitly said in the Discord he's never played Guilt Link all season. So we'll see.
That's interesting to me. I mean, obviously, he knows the deck better than...
Right. So we'll see if that has an impact tonight, whether or not Bill plays Guilt Link tonight. It's hard to say.
I think if he hasn't played in a tournament yet, this is not the matchup for it. Like,
I mean, it's got to be in there for a matchup. I just don't know what matchup he...
Well, right, but this, I don't think this could possibly be it. Because the thing you want to be doing with Guilt Link is like you need to keep your opponent's board clear-ish.
Right.
Because you want to get yourself to where you can do something like one turn, make an attack that kind of kills one of their medium-sized guys, and then the next turn, like, guild or something, and then side action Guilt Link to get their best guy. And that's just really hard to do against the 4-book decks because they don't have any dudes that are like insanely great.
Sure.
They have a multitude of dudes that are always on the battlefield that are...
I call them good enough. I call them good enough is what I call them. They're good enough.
Just these mid-range units that none of them get gildered, so that decreases the power level of Guilt Link because that's a very good play. I mean, you can set up the Guild Link play, but it, again, like your opponent just making dice efficient guys to fill an 8 battlefield makes Guilt Link less good. And so I'm not exactly sure what this is going to look like. I think in order for the Lulu deck to win effectively, he's going to have to be able to stick one of his larger guys. This version of Lulu, unlike the JK one we watched 2 streams ago, it doesn't have the explosive start plus the burn finish.
And to be fair, like Philly is loaded full of ways to handle trying to stick some of these big units from Bill's side, right? So there is that component, and that's what makes me wonder if the Guilt Link actually helps shore this up a little bit. It's hard. It's hard to say.
It's possible that there's some kind of like Guilt Link Huntmaster start, but you got to remember that Guilt Link isn't free. Like,
right.
So what is he going to trade? Like, you want to trade a guy that you've gotten some value out of for a guy of essentially equal value.
Sure.
On the other side, and I think that's going to be really hard because
I agree.
Like, if you use the Panther Spirit, that's like the best possible outcome. You could do it with the like Polarity Mage, maybe. But I don't think you want to start Polarity Mage.
No, I agree. I think we sort of saw the downside of a Polarity Mage start when we watched Zizaros and Philly play in top 8, right?
Yeah, that Polarity Mage is a little different than the Polarity Mage in this deck. I think the Polarity Mage in this deck is just kind of like you want to play it late to get back the explosive growth for the win kind of situation, or you can start it in a first 5 with Hammer Knight or Master Vampire against Fadeaway decks.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting lines that Bill can take. And I mean, Bill is an expert player, deep 1.0 player. I believe he is a past Gen Con winner, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody can correct me in chat.
Oh, yeah, he's very good. I worry about this matchup for him because these decks are similar, but the Aradel deck just has such a more consistent floor, having the real 4 books as opposed to the 3 books.
Right.
Yeah, and also the Water Blast Gilder. He has Hammer Knight, a 1 of Hammer Knight, and a 1 of Master Vampire as the only units in his deck that survive Water Blast Gilder.
Right. That's really tough to play through.
Right.
Really, really tough to play through. So yeah, we'll see. Obviously, the match rerun, Varega, I apologize. There is no match rerun. I did not get it recorded. So unfortunately, we don't have any details on the match other than what the 2 players discussed in the Discord channel. But Kaya and his Mayoni Snake deck, I'm sorry. It looks like Kaylee on screen, so when I look at it, my brain automatically registers with a she, her.
You're just a dumb.
I know, but it's Kaya. And
It's okay. I did the same thing with Charlotte, so.
Yeah, and he was able to advance to the finals. So Mayoni is making her 3rd finals appearance at Shufflebus. All in the...
He's an amazing player. It said did not win Gen Con, but...
Carl says Bill did not win Gen Con. He's an amazing player all the way back to 1.0. Okay, sorry.
You're actually not late, Varega.
Yeah. Nope, you're not.
We just started streaming, I don't know, like 10 minutes 16 minutes ago.
Yep. Yeah, we're leading into Bill and Philly here kicking off.
Which should start sometime in the next 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, we're waiting for them to log in and get started. Supposedly that should happen right around 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. 70-minute match. I don't think we'll use all 70 minutes with these 2 Phoenix Borns.
Yeah, so this isn't going to be a long stream either. Well, yeah. It'll be as long as the match is, and then a little bit of close up after.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, I think this looks difficult for the Lulu. I think this Aradel deck. I'm essentially not counting the skill of either player because they're both so good in this. Right. I'm just looking at the cards and like this Aradel list is just like I just don't see a lot of places where the Lulu can get any like card or board advantage. And it's like if you stick a Hammer Knight, but we know that Philly has been on the 4 books plus a Fester start a lot.
Yeah.
Which there is the 1 Golden Veil in the Lulu deck, so maybe some kind of Hammer Knight Golden Veil start is what it is. Or Master Vampire Golden Veil start. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean it's really hard, right? It's really hard to know what, because it's hard to start a night, and especially when nights are limited in your deck as they are in Bill's deck. But the issue you have is like how do you stick it? How do you hold it, right? And so it's really hard to start it but at the same time, everything else is not going to pressure the ping fester play, right? So like your opponent's always going to have that ping fester.
I think it's very likely that we're going to see Philly start 4 books. I think it will be Frostback Gilder, Cobra, 3-eyed. I'm guessing, plus Fester, but essentially 4 of the 5 books and a Fester is what I think we'll see him start, because that's what we saw him start before, and that just seems like the least amount of things can go wrong starting like that.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting conundrum because to a certain degree, if you take care of Bill's Frostback Bear, you really can pressure a fast win with the 16 life of Lulu between the Mindfog Owl and your own Frostback Bear, right? You really just open up the board because
I think Mindfog is fine. Also, is there enough dice for that? Because Frostback and Gilder's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so he could start that if he wanted to start essentially any combination of the bottom 3 books, Owl, or Cobra, any 2 of those 3. you can still start with Water Blast Fester. Also.
Yeah. So I would imagine like there is a potential world here where Lulu has a hard time dealing with Three-Eyed Owl. Right? Like this Lulu doesn't have.
Right. I think the Three-Eyed looks good against this deck too.
Yeah. So I think it's very possible that this is my prediction. That'd be Bear, Gilder, Mindfog Owl, Three-Eyed Owl. Leave the Ruby Cobra at home. I don't think you actually plan on winning on mill when you're up against a Lulu with 16 life. And I think it's a little dangerous to do that. I know that Bill's deck is not the burn deck of JK's, but Cobra it still has
Cobra
it.
Is still an attacker. Like
right.
I think that, like I said, any combination of the Owl Cobra is just fine. We'll see what Philly decides to do because he's obviously piloted this deck or a version of this deck a million times to undefeated seasons.
Yeah. And, do you, if you're Bill, do you start choke round 1 to try to just stick your bear and get up? It seems like it might be your best
really
bet.
Bad.
It might be your only bet though.
But it doesn't even save your bear necessarily. Is the thing. Like
it doesn't guarantee it, but it turns the Water Blast Gilder off from your bear.
Right. I just it doesn't seem like that's impactful enough. Like he needs to make a battlefield statement in round 1, and I think that the only way you do that against the 4 book is starting your 3 books. And
because he could start Huntmaster, Bear, Gilder, Monk, Choke, and the bear's not going to get eaten by the Gilder Water Blast that way.
Right. I just think the bear still probably gets eaten in that round. Anyway, even if you can't Water Blast it.
Sure. Maybe.
Because by doing that, you're essentially saying that your guys are going to win the battlefield against his guys because you're just like trading card for removal spell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not going to happen. The Aradel has better guys. Like the bear and the Gilder being equal, then whatever other 2 books is greater than Salamander Monk.
I agree with that statement for sure. I'm not sure the other 2 books are greater than Huntmaster Salamander Monk.
Right, but either the Huntmaster or the bear is going to get festered.
Sure.
So, like this is the thing, is like he's going to trade his fester for a whole guy. You're going to trade your choke for half a removal spell.
Sure.
And I just don't think that that's good enough. Like
if you're maybe you go Phoenix Barrage. And you're open.
I think first 5ing a Phoenix Barrage, especially since he doesn't have any Golden Veils, is probably really good.
It's got to be a definite way for you to stabilize your board, right?
This is what we were talking about on Thursday. Was like I think this game is going to come down to the number of Phoenix Barrages played. So you should probably first 5-1 just to make sure it's at least 1.
I mean, if Bill ends up living the dream and playing all Phoenix Barrages and both Molten Golds, which is very unlikely. But
I'm not saying that the damage on the Phoenix Barrage matters at all.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just saying.
But I would choose probably not to draw Molten Gold in this game. Maybe 1.
Sure, I'm just saying you only have to put 4 damage on Aradel to get there. So I don't think it's impossible for Bill to get there, but I do think that it may take an unconventional line because after round 1, your bear is not going to stand. I mean, you can either take a very proactive...
Anything, like, the choke might be better to have in the deck and draw because it might be better to turn off the Water Blast in a later round, actually.
Sure.
But I'm not sure. You're right, though. I remember talking about this on Thursday, and I should have said this tonight, is it definitely should first 5 a Phoenix Barrage against the deck that has no Golden Veils. Because it essentially will 2-for-1 him,
right?
Unless you choose to hit Frostback Bear. And if you choose to hit Frostback Bear, I think you have a plan for dealing extra damage, or you're so far ahead that you can 1-for-1 the Frostback Bear with the Phoenix Barrage. I don't think doing 4 to Frostback Bear's Phoenix Barrage is probably going to get there good enough, but doing 2 to Frostback Bear and killing any one of the other book guys is probably good enough. So Phoenix Barrage is a hell of a card.
It is. It's extremely good. I probably played the better part of like I don't know, 10 matches with Lulu up to this point. And it was probably my fourth or fifth match before I finally got to play Phoenix Barrage. And it was just a blowout. And you're like, oh my god, like that card's so good. 3 Phoenix Barrages set. Geometric says we should just ditch the first five. I like that better. For an intermittent 3. 3 Phoenix Barrages set aside and ready to play whenever. Yeah. Have you ever played Marvel Champions, Geometric? This is called the Invocation deck for Doctor Strange.
Well, it's a little different than that. The Doctor Strange Invocation deck is like, you like activate your Phoenixborn power, roll a dice, and do something extremely crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I played this the other night with some friends. It's the first time I've had a board game.
I need to get my recent expansions from Hobby Township. How many are out since?
I don't know where you left off at.
I think the last thing I got was the Guardians set.
Oh, then there's been like Nebula, Drax, War Machine, Mad Titan Shadow. I don't know.
Mad Titan Shadow? What is that?
That's the Thanos campaign.
Oh, it's a campaign box. Okay.
War Machine is Hunter's Mark, and it was good and he's Hunter Mark. Yeah.
Mike like orders them all for me, and then he ships me them in bunches, so I only pay the shipping once.
Sounds good, Bill. Thanks for letting us know. I'm watching for it to come on Ash Techie here, so we'll cut over to Ash Techie. But yeah, no, I mean, it's not, this one's not too bad, Carl, to keep up with. Good luck. It's not terrible. It's they do it kind of in waves, and it's had, like everything in COVID, it's had its fair share of shipping delays and shipping issues. So, yeah, the long delays have definitely helped in terms of this game. And this is the kind of game where you don't have to buy it all. You certainly don't have to buy it all. You can buy what you care about and not. So.
Are there any new promos? I finally got the first promos.
I asked Hobbytown about this because I saw something on FFG's site about it, but not sure. Not sure yet. They're working on maybe getting some organized play promos, but all right. So we're getting ready to kick off here with Bill and Philly, and we've got Bill on the top playing Lulu, Philly on the bottom in Aradel. Both Phoenixborns start the game with 16 life. Aradel's onboard is a single class, nature class die to do 2 damage to a unit play, and Lulu's bolster ability is a single basic die as a side action, and attach a spark to a unit in play, which gives that unit a +1 attack, and then as a main action, they can remove the spark to do another point of damage to a unit in play. So very similar, but yet different. This is sort of the classic, like, who's better scenario, because so Carl was saying he's sad because if he couldn't win, he was rooting for these two. One will be out.
Unfortunately, they're on the same side of the bracket.
But, yep. So we do see Phil come out of the gate here and meditate to bring up the Gilder or the potential Golden Veil here.
He doesn't have Golden Veil.
So that would be for the Cobra, most likely. And then he plays a Gilder book.
Right. And Gilder first is like almost always right, especially in Aradel. So now you have the 3 damage just like cocked and ready.
Right. So he's got double nature set up, and he's got the to your point, the Fester also set up, which has been a real common open we've seen Phil make pretty much all tournament we've covered him.
Yep.
And there is the round 1 choke
he did
from
decide
Bill.
to start the choke. We'll see how this plays out. My fear for this is that you don't play the battlefield enough, but if he starts choke and Phoenix Barrage, maybe the Phoenix Barrage will like be enough of a difference maker in the battlefield to shore up that.
So there is the 3-eyed owl we suspected, because the build just doesn't have a good answer to the memory drain.
Right. And now he's in trouble, I think, because if he was trying to play around owl, he kind of needed to meditate, I think, to hit a horsepower.
So there's Bill with Gilder. He could Gilder Nature Ping the owl. That may be his plan here. He may just be on Gilder Ping into owl.
I guess that's one way to do it, but again, that feels so weak by comparison to like the rest, like what the rest of his turn is going to look like.
So there does come the owl. So we'll see if this is Bill's plan. It kind of has to be here. Or he's definitely going down to a first 4. Because you're definitely not going to. I mean, if you are holding a Phoenix Barrage, the one thing you wouldn't want to use Phoenix Barrage on is this owl. So there is the Gilder ping, and there's the Nature ping.
I'm sure Philly is very happy about this, getting the 2-for-1 dice there, and also getting like he only has so many sources of 1 damage, and that 1 damage is like the thing that finishes off the bear if you try to 2-for-1 off Phoenix Barrage.
So here's Salamander Monk. So Phil did go with the Ruby Cobra here, over leaving the Cobra in the bag. So I'm doubting we'll see the Mindfog Owl, at least not in round 1. So we do see Ruby Cobra get played.
Alternatively, I guess, I mean, he definitely has Frostback Bear as one of his last 2. I would. Yeah,
I'm assuming the last 2 are Frostback Bear and most likely you're going to have Frostback Bear and Fester here.
I think it's a Fester just because that's like the safest thing.
I really do like this spark on the Gilder, although, Bill's down already 6 dice to 3 spent for Philly. So
yeah, so now he's showing like if he has Frostback Bear, does he have Guilt Link? That would be like an opener he could have. Otherwise it could be Frostback Bear Herder or Frostback or like Herder Phoenix Barrage.
It's very possible. It's Herder. I mean, Herder looks extremely good.
Now I'm like 100% sure that he has Fester because he used Nature Ping, which I think was a good Nature Ping because it got the spark too.
I think that was definitely
because otherwise the spark was going to kill the Cobra.
Right. Definitely there to force it. We did see the one Golden Veil get discarded from Bill. There wasn't a guard there. He unit guarded, right? Not PB guarded, but
right. That's what Carl's saying. He's surprised that he guarded with the sparked Gilder. Okay, so here's the Frostback Bear, which makes me believe his last card is Raptor Herder.
It would seem likely.
It could also be Guilt Link.
Also could be potentially good here.
Okay, there's the Bear book.
So now all of Phil's books are down.
Yeah, which essentially just leaves him with Fester. And 1 extra dice because the Water Blast got turned off. So like he has a frog he can use if he wants.
Phil does bring up another Nature die.
There's a Salamander Monk at play.
Bringing that Nature die up potentially for the Fester. So if Bill went with Raptor Herder here on this 3-book open, he actually does sort of strand this Fester in Phil's hand, which isn't a bad way to play because that essentially pushes your opponent onto a 4 die and strands potentially 1 die.
That only matters if he wins the battlefield.
Sure.
Because if he doesn't win the battlefield, and I think this bear is just going to get festered is what's going to happen.
It seems like the best target for it at this point, right?
Yeah, unless Phil's really greedy and he thinks he's going to be able to kill it without the Fester and just hold the Fester for later. But I think just like ping Fester here.
If this last card is Raptor, then Bill is probably going to get in for at least 4. Not that matters a ton, but 5 damage on the Aradel is a substantial amount. So we do see the ping Fester on the bear. So this is a Nature Ping doing 1 to the Frostback Bear to put a wound on it to allow Fester to kill that bear. 2 dice for 2 dice. Pretty good exchange. Obviously, Bill is down 1 dice here, round 1 due to the book tax on the bear.
Yeah, but when the big thing here is that
so Aradel does guard
once he plays yeah, and Carl says in chat the choke did absolutely nothing, which was kind of what I was afraid of when I was talking about starting choke before. Like the choke turned off the water blast, but because that choke wasn't a card that applied pressure, he didn't need to water blast to kill every threat in play. Because that salamander or herder or whatever, he has Gilder for. And
yeah, I don't understand that particular line from Bill here. I guess it doesn't matter with the Gilder still up. You weren't going to get in a group tactics attack anyway, so maybe that was the choice with Philly having the first player.
yeah, and we'll see what I mean, I assume he's going to ping one of the things. I guess I would ping the herder because the herder has the potential to kill your Cobra and the Raptor does not.
Mm-hmm.
But neither of them really actually can because Gilder's in play, so it doesn't. It's up to him what he wants to do. I don't think it's going to make a lot of difference. I think the herder is slightly better. The only reason you would pick Hatchling is because herder has the potential to be ceremonial powered next round. But if that's something that's going to happen, it's probably going to happen anyway because the herder will die sometime next round. Yep, and he chooses to hit the creature with power. And attack for 2 with bear.
Yep, bear gets in for 2.
And then we will see it pass out, I think.
So in terms of damage on board, very even first round, but obviously in terms of unit pressure and ready spells.
Well, yeah, you see that Aradel starts with 4 dice in play. The Lulu starts with 1.5 dice in play going into round 2, and the Aradel has an extra book. And this is kind of what I was afraid of going into when we were talking about the matchup, that the floor on the Aradel is just so high. Like, he's just going to be able to make guys that are just as good or better than the Lulu guys at a greater rate this whole game.
Okay, so
Bloodchains.
Bill blood changes the salamander monk. I'm assuming to exhaust the bear. Yep.
It's okay.
What was Lulu's last first 5 card? It was a Raptor Herder, Kaya.
Raptor Herder, Choke, and 3 books. Yeah, so we're seeing Cobra attack again.
It's a Polarity Mage.
Yeah, I mean, he just lets the Raptor go. I think that's fine. I don't think you want to let your PB guard go to save that hatchling, because with Water Blast and Killer still available for the Aradel, there's very low chance that you would ever be able to set up a group tactics attack from this board position, unless the Aradel would allow it.
Phil does meditate a Molten Gold away. Not that probably has a huge impact on the game, but it does.
Yeah, two Molten Golds down, actually. What I think is actually a little more important is he has meditated 2 Violinists already.
Right.
Which I think Violinist is good here. The ping damage is being very good in the battlefield heavy matchups.
Yeah. It's very powerful for sure. So coming back to Bill, he's got a couple of opportunities here, but he's gonna have a hard time coming on board with the Frostback Bear just because.
How many Nature's Wraths does he have? That'll be a big thing in the. He has 2 Nature's Wraths. Because the Bloodchains on the bear was good. It's going to save him a lot of pressure this round, but you still can't just leave that bear in play. Like something. This is a round where you want to play like Phoenix Barrage plus Nature's Wrath. That would be like one of the things that kind of catches him back up.
Yeah, Bill has done a fair amount of meditating for sure, down to 11 cards in deck already. So deck's current count, including hands, is 16 to 21 for Bill, 17 in the deck, and he did have an ice trap to answer the Ruby Cobra.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think that even down 6 cards, I still think the Aradel is favored in the decking race because he started Cobra Owl.
For sure. I do think that it's not necessarily about the decking per se as much as getting there on the back of, just a few minor attacks where you can. So, like, if I was Bill before this Salamander Monk Spirit gets eaten because it can't block, I'd attack Aradel because your opponent's probably going to just let you take one. And I feel like
that I would try to attack Cobra with that spirit.
No, you might get the guard out of it, and you may just let the Cobra die, though. But that might be all right. So
right, I think you're okay with either of those scenarios. But he's
just going to attack both to the face.
Aradel.
Yep. It's a guarantee to get 1 damage in this way. Put a point of damage on the Gilder. If you are setting up a Nature's Wrath, it's a pretty good Nature's Wrath now with 1 damage on that Gilder.
And this is an avenue to victory for him. I think, did he hit him at 1 gold? No. Okay, so his 2 Moltons, so you have 3 or 2?
2. Bill has 2 Moltons and 3 Phoenix Barrages.
Yeah, so his 2 Moltons and his 3 Phoenix Barrages, like, that is a significant amount of damage, but I think he's going to...
So he does get in for the 1.
I think that is the second ice trap okay?
That's a good way to stop another owl.
Yeah, I think Phil is very happy to trade dice for dice with Phil right now.
So not seeing Bill meditate into the bear or the Gilder tells me quite a bit. I don't know if it does you as well, Neil, that he doesn't plan on using either one of those right now because he doesn't want to risk losing cards. I would guess that we for sure have a Phoenix Barrage in hand right now. And
it's likely he has 2 cards in hand out of 19 cards. So he's like,
no, he does meditate
like 60% to have a Phoenix Barrage in hand.
So he does Gilder the Cobra away.
I find it interesting that he didn't meditate also for the bear. I think you have to make bear because you can still bear barrage. Like,
well, I think you're ahead here. If you're Bill, if you just spark your Gilder and just slowly chip away, because your opponent can't afford to use Water Blast and their Gilder as long as you're holding bear up.
Right, but he can just make bear. Like,
sure.
And now what do you do? Trade 1 for 2?
Yeah, that's. But he's got the back end barrage, so he might be able to Phoenix Barrage here, kill this bear.
Yeah, Phoenix Barrage is going to be good into this board state, even before this bear was made.
Sure.
We'll see. But Phoenix Barrage plus Spark leaves him with. Okay, so here's the barrage.
He did have the barrage,
and he goes all 4 to bear.
Yeah. Yep.
I guess that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You're definitely playing from behind no matter what, right?
I'm just confused about what his last card is that would be better than making a Frostback right now.
So another Raptor.
That was what I was saying about the previous Meditate, where
because if you make Raptor, you can spark the Gilder, get your group tactics attack. Your opponent can only make a Gilder. I guess they can Water Blast Gilder you, but he's got a grip full of cards still and a grip full of dice. It's hard to see.
Like if you play Herder here and you get Water Blast, even just Gilder activate only is enough to stop any good attacks you have.
Fire Archer coming down from Phil. Nice way to pass here. Put the pressure back on Bill. There is the Raptor Herder.
So it is a Raptor. Again, if he makes a Gilder here, it's amazing. As Gilder usually is.
Yeah, he's got an interesting set of lines though, because he can spark his Gilder or the Hatchling, depending on what lives here.
Yeah, Kyle, I don't know what's going on either. I'm a little confused by this, but I assume he's going to hit Herder again. Like, just hit the unit that has power.
Right.
So now he'll have an attack for 1 damage, which Aradel can take, or he can guard.
And she does 2 to the Gilder to knock it out.
Oh yeah, so now he has if he can spark Raptor Hatchling, which I think he should do because you should spend your thing. Or I guess you could spark the oh, these are also 1/1s, so that's not as good. I thought one of these was a Gilder, and you could just like save the spark for next turn, but yeah, it's rough. So there's the spark. Does he attack?
No, he just
immediately uses it to kill fire.
Main action to kill the fire archer, yeah.
It's like a bad frog dice, but it didn't require a meditate in this case.
I'm sure we'll see Phil use that.
He has to have. Oh, I guess 2 violinists are down, so he doesn't for sure have a violinist. Though that would be insane here.
Does Phil run a Hammer Knight?
No, his only allies are 3 violinists and then 1 fire archer.
Yeah, so I think if anything,
I wonder if he's gonna ceremonial back the
violinist.
Oh, he's gonna make a mind fog.
No, yeah, he's got the mind fog book.
That's rough.
That's tough.
Because he still has frog ping up. Yeah, this is gonna be a hell of a turn. Drawing the mind fog this turn was outrageously good.
Yeah,
because that owl book in round 1 took a Gilder and a frog dice. In round 2, it took an ice trap, so it got a card and a dice. And now, when it's going to be not as great the rest of the game, he gets to replace it with the 2/2. So good.
So we'll see the mind fog attack for 2 here, get in and match the damage number, and then we see real threats
you can just 4 him, like crack him for 4 at the top of round 3 here.
Absolutely can. Yep.
Yeah, waves. It evolved.
So on to round 3 with Philly going first at the top of round 3. I'm sure this first action will be just attack with Frostback Bear and Mind Fog since it can't be blocked. Foggy Bear is going to do its work.
I agree, Kyla. The waiting past 2 ice traps and a Phoenix Barrage with the Mind Fog was really good. And Christian says, look at Philly's rolls. Well, you only get to complain about bad rolls if you get decked, and I think he's not even going to get decked. I think he's just going to attack for 1 million.
All right, so we do see the Mind Fog Owl and the Frostback Bear get in for 4 damage here, taking Lulu down to 7 remaining life.
Yep, and
Lulu's definitely playing from behind here at this particular juncture.
Right. Again, we saw a 6 dice to 1.5 dice discrepancy in this round. There goes the last violinist, so no more allies left in the deck. Both Molten Cold's gone, both Chokes gone.
There's only 1 Molten Cold gone out of Phil's deck.
I'm talking what? I just clicked on it.
There's only 1 in the discard. Oh no, you're right. There's 2. I'm just dumb.
Yeah, so all the burn spells are out of the Aradel deck. He has to finish it out with guys, but he's got guys.
He does. And lots of battlefield space.
Right. Though he can't make another Gilder. This Gilder is just a bad frostbite right now.
Still looks pretty good against Phil against Phil's board right now.
Yep.
So here's a Gilder. So that actually opens up to make another Gilder. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wonder what the reasoning behind that is.
Yeah, I don't know either. Obviously,
because
Gilder's really rough on Salamander Monk because
I
you
mean
want
he
the monks
knows
to
if he
die.
drew a Phoenix Barrage or not, but I would want to try to get the Gilder as the third damage off of Phoenix Barrage on one of these bears.
Well, I mean, he can play like if you put your opponent on making Gilder making Mindfog Owl, then you can like Phoenix Barrage Gilder Mindfog. That just leaves you with the bear to deal with, but I don't know how you're going to deal with it. He could also Phoenix Barrage the Cobra and the Gilder here, but that doesn't really help you very much. I think in the scheme of things, it's
right. I mean, I think like the best thing he can do is have a Phoenix Barrage plus Nature's Wrath turn. But if that were the case, that Gilder activation was not ideal. So I think that pretty definitively puts him off.
There is a guilt link.
Okay, the guilt link is the reason that the additional Gilder body is less good, but right, seeing where we're at now kind of describes what I was trying to talk about pregame, where this guilt link is just going to trade Gilders. Unless Philly decides that
Salamander Monks for Gilders, I think you get into Monk Spirit Land. You get extra value.
If this Salamander does something and doesn't die, then sure, like maybe it's a little better to trade half a Salamander for a Gilder.
Salamander's going to attack the Cobra here. I'm sure this Cobra is just going to take one damage. The Cobra's attacking the Salamander.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Bill's happy with that. Wouldn't he be? Yeah, it definitely is. Okay.
Why? I would not PB guard it if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, well, you've got Spark.
Doesn't make me happy.
Well, you could Gilder guard it, but you've got Spark on the back end of this whole turn to finish this Cobra off. Right? You saw him do it last turn where he just side action Sparks.
Right, but the Cobra is still winning in that exchange because the
Cobra wins in a lot of exchanges. There's not many exchanges Cobra loses in.
Right. That's why I just think that I think the statement that Bill is happy about this isn't exactly correct. I think Bill is doing the best he can with what he's got.
I think you want to trade one damage into the Cobra if you can. It's your best opportunity to try to regain some control of the battlefield. And losing your last ice trap is not ideal for Bill, but not the end of the world, I don't think.
Yeah. Carl, that's good math, but he doesn't have 2 Molten Golds remaining.
Yeah, he only has 1 Molten Gold left, so he's got to get 3 damage. He's got to make up 3 damage there, plus play other Molten Gold and play both other Phoenix Barrages to get close. It's going to be a long shot here, I think. Obviously, the deck is whittling down for Bill, which helps. And Philly's deck is definitely getting low. Here's another Raptor.
One of the reclaims is gone. 1 is left, so it's possible that he could gain 2 back.
This does pressure the Gilder.
Third Raptor. Well, yeah, I think you have to Gilder the Hatchling now.
What I like about the pressure there is that sort of does open up your ability to get a Frostback Bear attack in this turn. That's a way that you're going to get there.
Yeah, it's possible. There's still 2 Festers and 2 Bloodchains in the Aradel deck. But he doesn't. You're right that he doesn't have the easy Water Blast Gilder on the bear.
Right.
So here's the bear.
We find out
if I had a Fester, I'd fire it off right now.
And so we do see the Water Blast for 2. I think that. Oh, yeah, it's the Return to Soil. That's rough. So, bye-bye a couple of Raptor Herders here.
Yep.
And loses an Explosive Growth. Explosive Growth is interesting here as a pump card.
We'll see what he decides to remove.
We have seen
Raptor Herders.
We have seen Phil use Return to Soil effectively in both his top 8 and top 4 matchup.
So here's an interesting question. He took the Explosive Growth. I think you should have taken the Polarity Mage if you're worried about Explosive Growth.
Well, but the issue is he's got 2 more polarity mages in the deck. He's got 3
He
polarity
doesn't.
mages.
There's only 1 polarity mage.
Oh, I thought there was 3. Sorry, my bad. That's 3 Raptor Holders.
Yeah, if you're worried about the explosive growth, I think you should just take the polarity mage, because then there's no way for it to come back anyway. But that's probably very marginal. Like, doesn't matter very much. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the card Return to Soil. I think it's pretty good.
So, what do you do if you're Bill here now?
Well, if you meditate away a Nature's Wrath, not very much.
Right. I mean, Nature's Wrath isn't actively good for you here because you're going to 3 for 1.
Right. I agree, but just like, again, I think his best turns are turns that have a Phoenix Barrage and a Nature's Wrath in them. And obviously, like, the chances of that are getting smaller and smaller as the game goes on. And I mean, to your point now, where it's not good for him, it's like quite likely that it's like 50-50 that Phil has a Nature's Wrath of his own, because there's only 1 in the discard pile, 3 in the deck.
Yeah. Yeah. You really, really blow the board out here if Phil has a Nature's Wrath.
It'd be pretty good. But yeah, being able to kill that bear before it got to attack was pretty big, I think. To everyone's been calling it already, which I agree with, that like the only way he's going to win is chipping a few through and then punting the rest with Barrage and Molten Gold. But that's getting less and less likely, just every dice spent.
With the increase in charm showing up thanks to the new edition cards like Ruby Cobra, I think Return to Soil is going to see a lot more play as an action card.
Well, it definitely didn't get worse.
No.
It definitely got better when the pool of charm cards got better. And he chooses to put out Mind Fog now. This is just like, I dare you to play Phoenix Barrage.
Yep, if you have it, play it. Right, that's what he's saying.
I think it's weird that I wonder what the preference of doing that instead of making bear was. Because it's not like you're hiding the bear, but the bear is better against Phoenix Barrage, and this owl is not threatening to get through for any damage right now. And it won't be. Well, he's only got 3 guys, so it's possible if he attacks with Gilder. No, he still needs the bear. So without the bear in play, the Mind Fog is just a 2/2. So I'm not sure. I would be curious to know why he chose to do that instead of make Frostbite Bear, if there's any real reason.
Bill appears to be in the tank here on this decision. Makes sense. This is not an easy decision to make. I mean, we're most likely going to see.
Yeah, his options continue to dwindle, and
so what we're most likely going to see is after Bill gets through this turn, is Phil's going to probably.
This is a bolster and send a squad. I bet.
Yeah,
it looks like he's attacking. So
yep, definitely going to get some damage on the Aradel here.
And I was wrong, because this is a reason to make Mind Fog over Bear, because you'd rather like block with the Mind Fog, because the bear is a higher value unit. So if you're playing the block to save life total, then
because you're holding 6 for your first round attack if you've got a double, if you got double bear.
But he didn't even block with Mind Fog. So
just valuing.
I don't know why Mind Fog was better than bear.
So Bill just takes 2 immediately.
How did it have a clear attack before that turn, Kyla? I mean, attacking now is fine.
Well, because you can just make a new bear right into the Mind Fog. So he does get the Guilt Link. Does watch a Gilder get destroyed, which we knew was most likely the target, but that does bring up a Monk Spirit here that can pressure the last Gilder down or the Cobra down, probably the Cobra.
I mean, he might even just Aradel block. We're at a point now where like he's I guess. I guess you probably just let the Cobra go.
Well, he does have the opportunity.
The math is good with one, but
he does have the opportunity here to attack the Mind Fog Owl with the Monk Spirit, and if Philly doesn't block, which I would be surprised, but if Philly doesn't block, then it gives him a chance to spark the Mind Fog, one of the Mind Fogs away. But it seems really unlikely that is going to happen. I mean, you're definitely just staring down the barrel of 6 attack from double Mind Fogged Bear. So unless you've got a plan for these units, I do really like against these 4-book Aradel lists. I do really like Survival of the Fittest at top of round, particularly when you're playing Lulu because you have tokens.
Right. I mean, he doesn't have that obviously, but in general, that's a very powerful card.
Right. I mean, Bill has done a nice job keeping this game close, for sure. Can't do 1 owl, 1 bear off of Phoenix Barrage, Kai. Can only because the barrage is 2, 2, and 2, and the last 2 has to go to PB phase. So it's you can kill a bear with the barrage and do 2 to a Phoenixborn, or you've got the spark for sure.
1 additional damage somewhere. That was what I was talking about earlier with the Gilder, but you just like kind of want to leave the 1 damage on a bear for most of the game.
So interestingly enough, does Bill have enough representative damage on the board right now if he clears away 2 of Phil's blockers with a Phoenix Barrage here in the late round to win, because he goes first.
We get to attack for 5 into 3 blockers, so that would put him at 11.
Well, would it be 3? If you clear 2?
If you hit Mind Fog, and then you spark the Cobra. But see, there's a bear in play now, so yeah, you get through for like 2 maximum.
But that would also exhaust all of Phil's units for the next round.
Right, so it's even better for Phil because Phil can decide to take more damage if he thinks he can win.
Sure. No. I mean, that's why I'm asking if Phil has to leave blockers up. I'm just trying to do the math on if he had to leave blockers up. It's really difficult.
There goes the other explosive growth.
Yep. Oh, does he have the... He meditates Huntmaster. Does he have the Master Vampire?
This has to be Vampire.
Oh, Vampire looks pretty good here.
Yeah, Vamp's good. I guess, how many blood chains are left? 1?
Yeah, does Phil have the blood chains? He immediately goes to blood chains here. He's going to get to double exhaust this Vamp. Off destroying the
Gilder over the...
Well, the Gilder represents
Cobra.
A unit guard. I'm not sure what that would look like. Yeah, you just have to play into that and see if he has it. There is a Meditative Nature's Wrath going by for Phil.
Yeah, all the wraths are gone, but at this point, it's not that crucial. We're gonna see him go to 13.
So if you're Phil, or if you're Bill, do you spark the Gilder away here for sure, and you go top of round swing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. You could spark again.
Okay.
And then, but 5 doesn't get there, so
you die on the backswing if you do that.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna go to 13, Phil.
And he'd go to 14.
Only has to 3 him. Well, I'm saying he's gonna go to. Okay, so you see the spark with 1 damage on a bear, which is what I was talking about before. Like, I think you just want to leave the bears in this situation, so they're easy to pick up with the Phoenix Barrage. But he's gonna go to 13. Now, I don't think there's any attack that Bill could make that would be profitable, because Phil just gets to choose with how many he blocks, and like he only needs to attack with one bear and one owl to win.
He did change the injured Cobra cam to double exhaust the Master Vampire.
Bloodchains got so much better when they printed Cobra and Lizard.
Vamp does have 2 tokens on it. It may just be hard to see.
It has 1 on it now that we've done the next round, but yeah. So he's dead even if he Phoenix Barrages, right?
Well, he goes to, okay, so if he Phoenix Barrages, Mind Fog, and Bear, and the attacks
still takes
3,
4 from Mind Fog Bear.
He goes to 11. Is it a gold GG? It could be a gold GG as well, Cam. I think
doesn't he?
Philly can win either way.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I don't think there's a card in Bill's deck that can do anything, because Phoenix Barrage is like his best defensive spell because it kills 2 units, but he still takes 4. So I'm trying to look.
Like, okay, so if you Phoenix Barrage out a Mind Fog and a Bear,
you're still dead to Mind Fog Bear.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, and if you Phoenix Barrage 2 owls, you're dead to Bear. I don't think he has an out. I'm trying to look. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Because with the Gilder in play, you can't go like Phoenix Barrage and then Guilt Link. If this Gilder was dead, the Phoenix Barrage Guilt Link would actually do it. Assuming no other cards play from like Philly.
So we still got Bill thinking through this play.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big deal. Semifinals. Take your time, figure your lines out. He's better at the deck than I am, so maybe he'll see something that I don't. But it doesn't look like, to me, looking at the list, there are any available outs, because with the explosive growth gone, there's, I mean, even with, if he had explosive growth, I don't think he has the ability to 7 him.
Where's Outmatch when you need it?
Okay, so there's
I'm kidding. But he does go ahead and make the Phoenix Barrage. And this is just a GG concession for Bill. Just putting up as much fight as he can on his play, committing to a play line. Yeah, blood points don't matter at this stage. We do see a spark on the Salamander can't block though. So
right.
Yep. So there he is, Philly just committing the 4 attack to finish it off. So, oh wow, okay, so kind of what we suspected, but it was tight. It was tight.
It didn't feel that close. Like, nothing against Bill. I think he played just fine. But the Aradel player was just ahead by 4 dice, essentially at every point in the game. And the Aradel did not deck itself in spite of like rolling 6 basics 4 times. And the Aradel, I guess the Aradel did just now get within range of the last Molten Gold plus Phoenix Barrage, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was possible that he could like burn him out in this situation, but obviously so far from doing so. This is about how I thought this was going to go, just from looking at the list, and no bad feelings towards Billy. Had a great tournament. he played great this game, and obviously,
it just looks like a tough matchup. I mean,
right? It's
honestly,
just a rough matchup.
Honestly, there are a lot of rough matchups for 4-book, which is why Philly has remained undefeated so many times with 4-book, because the unit pressure of making 4 units every turn, every round, is just in many cases more than what other decks can do.
And it's interesting because like you get to like sculpt the game around your hand, because like your main plan is always going to execute. You're like never have a bad draw because your main plan is make your 4 guys, and then you just get to like put the icing on the cake with whatever good cards you have in your hand. You saw, like I said, you saw Philly meditate at least 15 dice this game.
Right.
He still had a full hand and was not in danger of taking any fatigue.
Right.
And maintained battlefield pressure the whole game in spite of that. So
right. Yeah. I mean that's a big component. I mean, obviously, I do think that Maoni, since we're gonna now see Phil and Kaya go at it here in the finals on Tuesday night. At least that's the plan. I got to confirm that with our competitors, of course, but that's our hope here. That I do think that the Maoni deck is pretty well positioned to fight a 4-book deck. The pressure from Command Strike and all the Golden Veils sort of put a lot of pressure on the Aradel player, and the 16 life versus the 20 life for Maoni. I mean, there's just a lot of factors here.
Yeah, it's what it's going to come down to is, again, the race of, can Philly close the game out through whatever Maoni's doing before double snake attack.
Right.
I think it's usually 2 against the 16 life Phoenixborn. It's possible it's just 1. But
yeah, it doesn't take long for the snake to get there when you're giving it a bunch of little units to feed on, like the Cobras and the Gilders and
right,
things like that.
This definitely is not a deck that can afford to like not make guys. So I don't know. I'm excited to see this match because this is a very, very classic, like, I think, archetypes of what we've seen in our tournaments to smash into each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's an actual rematch of season 3, right? Other than Kaya being in the snake player place, Phil, I'm pretty sure Phil and Carl played there, if I'm remembering correctly, from season 3. Yep. Season 3 was Brennan. Oh, you're right. It was Brennan and Carl. Yep. You're right. I guess we haven't seen a 4-book Aradel against Snake yet, then. Maybe we saw it in one of the quarters or the semis.
Yeah. But I'm excited. So congratulations to Philly. Obviously, like, I am biased because I think he deserves a win after so many undefeated seasons. But I'm very excited to see this finals because I like the games against Snake. I think that the way the games play out is very interesting. So
they are definitely different.
Great tournament to Bill. Love having Bill around. He's a great guy. And just a great guy to play against if you ever get paired with him. But we get to see Philly go to the finals and play against Snake, and we'll be back on Tuesday.
I was gonna see if we could confirm that final here tonight with everybody on before we signed off. May take a little too long, but I just thought if we got lucky here, since I know Kaya was on the chat. All right, thanks, Kaya. But you'll be on a train. That sounds.
You'll be on a train. A train to where?
Here's what I found.
Oh, my phone is going off.
Siri's trying to book you a plane or a train ticket somewhere, Neil.
It's Cortana, I think, or
whatever.
I don't know who the Android one is. Alexa.
Alexa, yeah, or what?
Okay.
No, that's Amazon's. I don't know who Android's got. Going home for Thanksgiving, yeah, absolutely. That's why we want to try to get this all done before Thanksgiving, so it's just wrapped up and tidied up before the holidays as much as possible. Okay, so we'll have a lot more coverage on this matchup. Obviously, big stream on Tuesday night if we can make it happen here with Philly and Kaya. They will be playing for Season 5 champion. All of these players who haven't received invites will get invites to the Invitational. That's coming up January 8th of 2022. That Invitational is to crown a Ashes Reborn Shufflebus World Champion. And on Tuesday night, we're going to have a bunch of giveaways. So you definitely, if you participated in Shufflebus Season 5, you want to be on that stream because you are going to want to be there to find out if you won cool stuff. If you're not present, you'll still win. It's okay. But I would love for you to be there to chat with us and celebrate the finals and the 5th season of Shufflebus. I didn't think we'd get to 5 seasons on this thing. So
it's been a good year.
It has been. So all right, well let's wrap it up, Neil. We completed it. Got at least one of the semifinals. I apologize for not getting JK and Kaya's match on cam for you all, but we will be back on Tuesday for the finals between Phillycheaz and Kaya. Both players are looking to become first-time Shufflebus champions, which is exciting. That's obviously a big deal. Neither one of these players have won a Shufflebus championship. Phil has been considered the greatest of all time in Swiss up to this point, with the best Swiss record of any Shufflebus competitor, and 3 undefeated seasons in Swiss.
Crazy,
and then which is crazy.
Putting Mayoni and Kyla being the last speed bump to his first ever actual undefeated season. And I believe will it be the first actual undefeated season of all seasons?
If he wins it out, it'll be the first time anybody's gone undefeated for the whole season.
Because the previous champions have all had a Swiss loss.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So, it'd be very interesting to see, and this would be the first time Aradel wins a Shufflebus. She has not won one yet. She has made top 8 many, many times, but has not been able to close one out and come home with it. So maybe Cobra was the secret sauce she needed all along to get there. So we shall see. So, all right, everybody. I thank everybody for tuning in on this special Sunday night Ashes Reborn stream. We'll be back on Tuesday with a huge stream, and then we'll all get to go celebrate Thanksgiving. So thank you all. I hope you have a great evening. Take care.